Months ago, after contacting Reunion. 10:14 p.m. Clear. Ursus, unnamed desert outskirts.
You have met all the Reunion leaders. What do you think?
Are you asking me or her? If you ask me, I'd say nothing out of the ordinary. The stuff they do is pretty par for the course for people like that.
A strange bunch. There's a child who seems to have been purposely pushed into that position to the point of becoming cruel. And then there's a warrior whose toughness is beyond imagination.
There are some incredible people, but then there are also some 2-bit villains. All I can say is, we've seen all kinds of people after fighting wars all these years.
But there is someone who caught my eye.
Oh, you must be talking about that one. The one who was waiting at the side with that other little rabbit.
Their squad seemed on a completely different level compared to those ordinary infected. The kind of Sarkaz warrior could be said to truly bear the mark of war.
Sarkaz?
Yeah, but you don't see Sarkaz like that every day. He claims to be with Ursus, saying he broke off contact with Wiš'adel long ago. How pitiful. He never needed to live such an exhausting life.
Maybe we should all go meet him. The impression I got from him was that he has become much more than a warrior. And you, don't you love thinking about things? Instead of philosophizing, why not have a chat with someone like that? We might all learn a lot from him.
You're talking about... Pardon, I would like to speak with you alone.
Speak of the devil. What's up?
To who do I owe the pleasure? My name does not matter for the time being. Rest assured, right now I am not here on behalf of the leader. I just want to hear about my countrymen, about my homeland. What has become of them? I know that in Wiš'adel, many things happened. Some things I have heard, but details, no.
You're just an Ursusian.
These two identities do not conflict. The bloodline has not changed. Dark and deeply rooted. I cannot for it, but run from it I cannot.
So, even if I told you, what do you plan to do? These things happened a long time ago for me.
Nothing. There is nothing I can do. But it has been so long since I saw Teresa.
Oh.
From your reactions, I see she is with you. Her mark is here. After all, you are Sarkaz, muddied, blood-soaked. She is a hero, at least. So respected. A great warrior. A worthy ruler. My flesh, loyal to Ursus. From my people, I exiled myself. But I am still Sarkaz. I want to know what happened to her, Wiš'adel. I just want to know.
En route to Chernobyl. 5:22 a.m. Clear. Chernobyl, Sarkaz mercenary garrison.
Need something?
We hope that your mercenaries can give us an explanation. First, your team defected. The people who went after them reported that you weren't even trying. A few hours ago, some enemies managed to infiltrate Chernobyl. Again, due to your negligence. Combined with the fact that when we first captured Chernobyl, someone tipped us off that you led...
Okay, I got it. The client's dissatisfied with our performance. Can you say that with fewer words? We're simply in a cooperative relationship. And I'm the leader now. If I get on this table and start groveling, will Chalula be happy? Or did having Papa Patriot around give you the illusion that Reunion is actually good at fighting a war? Make no mistake about who the people actually capable of bringing you victory are. If you figured it out, hurry up and crawl back to that dragon girl. I'll tell her what she wants to know soon enough, so don't rush me.
There is one other thing. Just now, stragglers from an enemy party were detected inside the city. That mercenary, Ines, died after exchanging fire with them. Reunion also participated in this battle. The enemies were very strong, and we all suffer losses. This is all due to your negligence.
There's no need to get pushy with me. Seems like something happened to the Ace of here not long ago.
Precisely.
So, where's the body?
Unfortunately, I have bad news.
I'm talking about the enemy's corpses. Ines wouldn't use such fleshy, destructive arts.
Our casters were also involved in this battle. The entire street was destroyed.
Don't you think you're being a bit too blatant here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, from your side's point of view, how should the situation be handled?
Our main force is focused on the battle that will take place in Lungmen. We have no time to waste here. The leader won't investigate your responsibility in this just yet, so you should handle it yourself.
You have a pretty thick Ursus accent.
What of it?
You guys didn't really think that I'd take some random excuse, did you?
W. Stop. Put that wand away and calm down first.
Sorry. Got a bit carried away there. You can breathe a sigh of relief first and be grateful that you get to live.
What is the meaning of this?
Don't get me wrong. The death of one Sarkaz won't affect the outcome of the next battle. And neither will the death of the entire Reunion movement. If you don't believe me, you're welcome to try me.
I'll make sure our leader hears about your true attitude. There won't be a next time.
You heard them?
Since you let that Rhodes Island squad escape, Reunion has never allowed us to act alone.
If they could put half this much effort into their actual battles, they wouldn't be getting their asses handled to them so badly.
Despite that, you still deliberately let the traitorous Blade Master get away.
I didn't deliberately let him go. I just didn't want those idiotic infected to kill a Sarkaz I brought here.
The old you would have slaughtered Flamebringer on the spot to get Reunion's attention off of you, regardless of what you wanted.
Huh? Was I the only one who couldn't remember his codename? How embarrassing.
So, is Ines really...
No, it's not the time. I'll have someone identify her. Identify her... Let's talk business first.
3 things. First, Ines wanted to warn you that something is wrong with Tallulah. She must have seen something more specific, but I am not clear on that. All she told me was, Tallulah apparently had 2 shadows. From her reaction, this isn't some common byproduct of arts interference.
That damn coward. Why wouldn't she ever be straightforward?
Second, the old man has left. Received an order to go fetch something. Tallulah didn't even make any effort to hide it. Finally, a messenger has already set off for Victoria. Shortly, the Regent will know everything that has happened here. Theresis knows many things, and he has just as many monsters around him. If he is allowed to intervene, this would no longer be a simple question between Reunion and Ursus. W, are you listening to me?
Too noisy. Since it's all good news anyway. Let me have some peace and quiet. You've had your heart on the heel of your blade, ever since you walked through the door. You were like that when we first met, as if you were ready to cut me down at any moment. But the way you stood calm back there was just like Patriot. What do you really think about this?
That's not important.
And none of us are. We all know this. And bad habits die hard. Ines, I have the right to hear what she said, right? In order to respect her sacrifice.
You two are both similar. Never considering the consequences of the things you do. A regent will not sit idly and watch them lose control. If you can't give him a suitable answer, Londinium summons will destroy everything you've painstakingly put together. Ironically, you still don't know what you're trying to accomplish, even now.
Who knows?
Just don't think you can handle everything alone, W. You'll come to regret it sooner or later, just like me.
The reason you have the right to ask questions is because you avoided the center of the whirlpool.
Really? Who's still left on Rhode Island now?
Why are you asking that?
I've seen your interactions with the messenger. You've been investigating Rhode Island's trail, a drug company. I had assumed they only get caught up in that war, but turns out the truth isn't so simple. Especially Scout. According to your plan, we were in charge of all the other fronts during the battle to hold Chernobog.
Yeah, and you guys did a great job.
But someone still found him. The Ghost of Babel. You chose to find him yourself, and then you let him go. In the past, I would have seen this as a sign of untrustworthiness. But by the looks of things, you didn't plan to keep that secret for long anyway.
What point is there in hiding that? If you've ever fought in a battle, you're bound to know some people who have a bit of a reputation. After all, if those people have been fighting tooth and nail to hang on, there's no getting around it.
What's your plan now? We shouldn't have had a fight against them in the first place. If that cultist is still in charge of Rhode Island, this might be a chance.
No. What do you think my objective is?
I see.
You said you helped me to do this one thing. We agreed on it. Dishonest mercenaries are worth just as much as a dishonest mercenary, so I don't mind making some extra arrangements.
Ines can no longer help you, and soon I'll have to leave too.
Oh, I haven't heard about this before. Where to?
I'll head back to Victoria with the messenger. It'll be about a 3 or 4 months trip. We'll leave tomorrow morning before sunrise.
Are you in that much hurry to reunite with Ines in that? With your reputation? You plan to head back to Londinium carrying all that sins on your shoulders? You'd probably be better fleeing back to Castle.
You killed Garson and reorganized the mercenaries. Someone has to report this to the region. If nobody goes to report this, he'll treat us like disowned children and cast us straight into the next war zone. A battlefield within his reach. When that time comes, there really will be no place to run.
You're taking this risk to cover for me. Why would you do that?
Her Majesty, Theresa. She remembered my name and my family. Though Her Majesty is no longer here, there's still part of her left in this piece of shit no-good squad.
How come? I've never seen it.
No matter how perverse the Sarkaz personalities and methods may be, judging from the results, they're still fighting for that lofty, unrealistic idea.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
We've known each other for a long time, W. That's all.
Out of compassion, let me also give you a reminder. This is your best opportunity to escape Castle. Leave from here, past Lungmin and Ursus, to the distant lands beyond. I'm willing to keep one eye closed. But if you go back, know that you will die.
Just earlier, you said you wanted me to help you do your thing.
If your idea of helping me is just committing suicide, then I suggest you hang on to your life instead. When it's my turn to collect, I'd like some of my debtors to still be alive.
I wouldn't necessarily be going there to die. Depending on the region's mood, there are many possible outcomes. Reunion has been manipulated into something far beyond what you can imagine. The regent may well change his mind. In any case, I no longer have the luxury of running away. I've left Casdal, and I'm about to leave here. What's the worst that could happen? Patriot has already taught me enough.
You've been influenced by him a lot, just from your short time here.
Just like you were with Theresa. It's all the same, isn't it? Theresa sits on his throne, and even if I'm only able to grovel my way up there with my head pressed against the ground, I must reach where he is and figure out what he is thinking. Otherwise, if we continue acting recklessly as we are now, that will truly be committing suicide.
You know, you could also just submit to him.
I've thought about this before. Just so you know, Garson was always suspicious of you. He even gave me the order to kill you once.
Oh? Sounds like things would have been a bit more entertaining if you had listened to him.
Sorry, but I'm not into the same kind of stuff you're into. Now, Let's decide.
I won't deny that I'm curious about what Therese is up to. Seems like I have no choice, though.
That's right. Even if you rejected my proposal, I don't plan to let you keep running the show.
You're not gonna say this is for my good, right?
Of course not. What kind of sarcasm goes around taking care of others?
How disappointing. You've just gone right back to your old days. I thought you were going to keep falling. So, do you already have a plan?
Why don't you go ask Ines?
That's a really unfunny joke.
Then, before I leave, let me tell you another joke. Ines once told me that you looked more and more like a lunatic, but your actions got less and less decisive.
Who, me? Do you really believe that? Have I been using fewer bombs recently?
Maybe, no matter how good you might be at hiding it, we've worked together for far too many years. Who's to say, maybe we trusted you this whole time.
So which line was the joke?
Oh, it's you. Sarkaz mercenary Hoederer, huh? I heard you are leaving. What business do you have with us?
Before I leave, there is something I'd like to confirm. Did any of you personally see Ines fall in battle?
No. As soon as we received the support request, the battle was over. The street had been torn apart, and the Originium crystals left by the catastrophe caused a violent chain reaction. We got the situation under control with fairly minimal... What are you doing?
Ursusian, you're pretty calm for someone who just saw a companion fall in front of your eyes. You give off the stench of conspiracy and war, stench that is all too familiar. If Ines was still here, that's definitely what she'd say.
So that's what this is about. It's all too common for people to vent their anger on the infected over a fallen comrade. I just thought you would have been a little smarter than W.
A little smarter, huh? Yeah, looking back, I've been a bit overprotective of her. Always have been. But not because I was afraid she'd get in trouble. You see, I was more afraid that I'd have nobody to kill. After all, I'm also a Sarkaz. The real deal.
You!
I've seen your report. Your achievements with Reunion are, to say the least, not worthy of commendation. However, that being said, you have indeed procured some unexpectedly useful information.
Thank?
No, there is no need for thanks, at least not this time. You're all impressive warriors, and until your deaths, you're entitled to the rewards you've earned, by virtue of the blood, sweat, and tears you have shed. His Majesty the Regent knows well the act and deed of all Sarkaz, even those as insignificant as yourself. And the infected are not the only thing in this temple gradually deprecating. Do you understand?
I do.
If I am correct in my predictions, Rhodes Island has already welcomed the return of a certain unpalatable individual. And you should have made contact.
Regent is even faster than W? All the way from Londinium?
Mercenaries know loyalty only to their own interests. But that nonetheless makes a fine starting point. When the dust settles, and you stand once again before the throne of His Majesty, that is when you will receive your reward.
What about the other warriors?
The young infected has her own plans. Were you unaware? That His Majesty will not participate in such nonsense. We have mutually decided that Victoria will stand by and watch Reunion's next move. We lack effective measures to retake control of that unit from W. Furthermore, it is important that we, in the name of our supporters, continue to whip up the infected in all corners of the world.
We are still going to use Reunion? I was sure His Majesty would have...
Given up? Oh my, no, young mercenary. Things are yet far from chaotic enough. Even if Reunion has strayed from its leadership, it remains a source of chaos. What's more, should your words just now be taken as a question of His Majesty's intentions?
No, absolutely not.
Very well. Raise your hand. Oh yes. For the time being, you need not return to Casdel. The journey back is too long, and matters have been progressing rapidly there. You are to stay here for now. Enjoy the small respite, however you can.
Thank you very much.
Now then, His Majesty awaits me. You're dismissed. Remember, see to your own business first, Hoederer.
Of course.
Hoederer. Yes. I look forward to seeing what else you can uncover.
Looks like it's house arrest for both of us.
It's not like I never thought about it. And hey, it's better than what I was expecting. But we were a little too naive.
Which part was naive? The part where you thought you'd die, or the part where you thought the Regent didn't know?
Both. He's been pulling the strings from the start. Not that I'm surprised. He is Theresis. We've all heard the stories about him and Theresa, invincible forces of nature. But I guess in the course of the war, I forgot those stories. Weren't just stories.
So how do we warn W? What's going on with Reunion? We wasted so much time on the road. She might have already split with Tuluva.
The other possibility is the show ends in Lungmen.
Wouldn't that be a bit too quick?
It fits with the way W works. If Taula is going to destroy the infected, W will destroy Taula first. Sarkaz style, with extreme prejudice. She's pretty upset over the death of a certain merc after all.
She knows the score.
She's out of room to hesitate any longer. Now she just needs to get into the right headspace to make a move.
And that means we're left waiting.
We've got ways to fool the region size. It'd be a crazy risky play, but still got my own squad I can keep on standby.
Victoria's all over the place right now. They probably wouldn't catch the code.
Yeah, and it would have to pass by some real tricky spots controlled by the Regent.
Casdel.
The battlefield ruins there haven't been touched in a long time, but we eked out a living there for a good long time. There was a communications station in an old bunker buried under those ruins. The tower made it look like it was destroyed, but everything down there still works.
Hold on. That was a long time ago. How long have you been preparing this?
All done way back at the very beginning. Cost me a pretty penny too.
Oh man, if they saw the look on your face right now, boy would they be surprised. For a while now, every time you came back from a battle, you were always deep in thought, like a kid who did something bad. I figured you'd just lost your will to fight.
Nah, it was the opposite actually. I finally realized that was I had to do.
How?
Because I had no choice. It's kind of liberating in a way.
W must have said something to you before you left Chernobog.
Does it sound like her, laying all the cards on the table?
No, she'd be a lot less of a pain if she did though.
You're right that she came looking for me before I left the core city. She knew what we were planning to do.
Can you put a price on the life of a merc?
Sure, always have. Why even ask? You knew the answer.
But who set the price?
The war itself.
Sure. You got your battlefield honors, your victories, the glory you pull out of a hand-to-hand fight. All the things that raise your profile, that let everybody know what a useful tool you are. So boring. But that's all in the past. At least for us it is.
What do you mean?
Every Sarkaz merc should have a nice, clean price tag. But we don't need anybody to slap it on. No oversight. They write their own price in the blood of the enemies of Sarkaz.
Are you saying we should get everyone to leave Casdel?
You look surprised, but like, they could choose for themselves. Does this sound weird? Not weird, right? Just give it some thought. Think about what you could be doing in Casdel.
You're talking about doing that right in front of Theresis, in broad daylight.
You make it sound so bad, as if you don't have your own plans. Chill, you are my boss, Hoederer. You'd better do it, or we'll have trouble.
It's a pretty good joke. The old hands at the Scar Market would laugh themselves into a coma.
Certainly wouldn't make the committee happy. That'd be out a lot of money and a lot of wasted brain power.
Not to mention all the people they killed.
Sure enough. And the old hands hid there too. Some of them are almost friends of ours.
So what are you gonna do now? It's up to you.
Well, I can't leave Londinium. Hell, I can't even leave this mansion. I think it's up to you.
You can do a lot as a messenger.
Keep following Tal's orders. Hoederer isn't coming back yet. Should be good. As long as that comms station still works, we'll hear back. And they'll get word to W.
I know how to do this. Don't give me orders.
What a pain in the ass. Just when I decide to go after the Dragon Lady, what a time you picked. Get out here!
The ruins of Chernobyl weren't like these of Castle. There were still traces of life out on the streets, ravaged as they were. They gave you some idea of what had been, unlike the total annihilation back there. Like, for example, these two kids painstakingly rising their weapons.
Never! What are you doing here?
No, don't provoke her. Sorry, we're just leaving.
Hey! That's an army sword you're holding, isn't it? Yes, it is. Sarkaz steel. You can't even lift it. Why are you holding that thing around? You gonna fight back? You gonna kill me?
Get back! Ah!
Rublev, your leg.
Oh, you're hurt. You're gonna get infected. The city got hit with a catastrophe. It's not safe here.
I won't turn into a thing like you.
Oh, what's a tough kid? Let me ask you. Do you know what it means to take up the blade of a fallen Sarkaz?